Dream elect to start off from the CT side, understandably so, but so far pot shots being exchanged towards second mid so far. Some damage inflicted towards Alex, making him move out of position, but imoRR may be in big trouble. He's the only man holding off the B side, and is it directly where Eternal Fire looking to push from smoke out? That could be an obfuscation technique to maybe allow Eternal Fire to rotate in this direction, but they're holding around, and it could be a good call because it seems that Eternal Fire haven't budged. Now moving into it, Xantares is the first man to find the first blow. The B side is theirs entirely without dropping a single player.
ISSA's taking quite a few bullets into his head as he's trying to hold down the wire, but now Dream have to go for an uphill battle of a retake. Eternal Fire, they've got their foots firmly cemented on the B bomb site, and all they have to do is make sure that they can hold on to their livestock. At least firing off the first cylinder. He's able to get the first one in.
Ooh, good shot by Alex. Now, that could bring them right back into it, but ISSA hasn't shown his card just yet. Now, with the swings coming out, it is Dream fighting them as advantage, but WOXİC is so darn strong when it comes to that clock, and is so darn dangerous that they don't give a chance at all. Niter knows that there's no chance, knows that he can't do anything about this, knows that there's an impending doom and an impending boom coming out from the bomb of the B bomb site, and Eternal Fire get themselves yet another pistol round.
If you're in the shoes of Dream, what are you thinking about here? Are you hoping that the CT side just goes well? Are you hoping that Eternal Fire don't feel too comfortable on Inferno? That's never going to happen. And honestly, Pavlos, there's very little meaningful analysis to be made here, because when Dream is playing a very simple style of Counter-Strike, when they didn't really show us anything too important or too complicated on Vertigo, and often showed us that even the basics weren't really down pat, it's just a matter of waiting for Eternal Fire to mow them down, unless they can somehow match firepower, they can somehow exceed strategy, or something along those lines. And if we're going to talk about firepower, Niter has at least some of it. Oh no, caught with your pants down, but Calyx will still win out the duel. Zebron quickly follows up. Maybe Dream have got a shot here.
Pronounce LeBron as if he's LeBron. Just made me think, oh, are we covering basketball all of a sudden? Talk now. Big task ahead, but imoRR's just too quick. imoRR can't do much with that P250 in that distance. That means the cross has been permitted. The smokes just allow that passageway to be given over. And Eternal Fire, with a bomb being planted and a Dream left on the other side of the map, they can only just scramble up some extra pieces, because this round is going in the to the side of the Turkish team.
It's crazy because Dream actually had a reasonable shot there, but lo and behold, once again, it's Eternal Fire. And you can't really blame Dream, right? Because obviously when they come into this tournament, they're sort of hoping that they can get as much practice as they can, just playing against higher tier teams. Eternal Fire obviously trying to end their run as quickly as possible. And it's never going to be easy while they're playing against a team like Eternal Fire.
Never going to be easy, is it? Got to respect that from Calyx, though. You know, there's a player by you who's got a strong weapon, and then draws out the alternative fire from the Glock. And the entries by IMORR, it's just a level above competition right now. And Dream, it's hurting. And with the funds that they do debatably not have, it's going to be a difficult endeavor to hold on to this. So Eternal Fire likely to extend to 3. Just wondering, how creative can they be? How flamboyant can these rounds be? And does Dream have a chance to grab a round or two?
Oh,
Ow.
You talked about Zebron kind of sounding like LeBron, and with nades like that, maybe the comparison wouldn't fall short. Dream looking to quickly set foot through. But Eternal Fire, they've decided to back off, not quite committing just yet. They've left a feeler on the B bomb site, and it's really a game about Dream second-guessing themselves as Eternal Fire finally decide to move in.
Xantares, good shot onto Niter, even though it's behind the smoke. How do you even fend from that? ISSA, as soon as the smoke phase takes advantage of that as well. Xantares from above, beautifully done. One after the other, they are eliminated. And Dream, they've only got a dream at this point. Nothing else, nothing tangible. It's all in the air. Oh, actually, Alex runs away with 2.
Yeah, you know what they say. If you can't beat them, just spam HLTV stats, or rather farm HLTV stats off of them.
I was about to say, spam HLTV stats. Are they like spamming just KDAs in their chat? You know, in all chat, pressing T, paste, enter.
I'm always a big fan of just having copy passes and triggering the enemy team by just BMing over and over in all chat. It's just one of those things about Counter-Strike that I'm very happy. It just never gets removed.
Did you have a macro with a copy paste?
Yes.
What did it say?
I feel like it's probably not right to mention on broadcast.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Let's keep on, Josh, shall we?
I was quite the toxic player when it came to my MM days. And, oh man, that MP9 could have done a lot more work. Just a little bit more elbow grease, and that should have been it. But Eternal Fire, they still firmly have the man advantage, even if the HP is a bit shaky on WOXİC anymore.
Definitely on the short side, with imoRR as well being fairly low. But the movement from Dream is quite substantially moved across the map, not really gathering their forces, which does make the endeavor a lot much easier for Eternal Fire. In they go towards the A site. Best read they could make. Alex, the gatekeeper, onto the site he is. As Yoda, I sound, ISSA finds 1 kill onto Zebron, makes things ever so easy. Now that could be the entry towards the B site. Misheshka actually does show his card, therefore Dream now know that the movement has been stopped towards the B site. Eternal Fire rotate towards A, but Dream, their efforts to rotate together and gather their forces are in vain because Eternal Fire find themselves on the other side of the map.
Being Inferno, you know that this is an AWP being tucked into the back pocket for a next round. Man, I'm just reminiscing about the days where... Okay, Palos, how long ago did you start playing Counter-Strike?
Oh, I think it was 2014 or 2000. Yeah,
okay, so you've played
probably.
Matchmaking at that point, or were you just playing mixes?
I was playing matchmaking.
Okay, wonderful. Because do you remember the time where before the game and in the halftime, you could actually hear the enemy team and you could beat them as much as you'd like?
Oh, remember!
That was... Oh man, I love doing that so much. It added so much more depth just to the competition.
When was that removed?
I don't know, because honestly, I wouldn't care about matchmaking. I don't really care about matchmaking at all anymore. I honestly, CBA can't care about matchmaking enough. I'm just kind of just holding W, winning most games, losing some of them. It's just never a fun experience. But there was an added element of being rude to each other in the halftime that just motivated you to play better.
What was it? The fact that you were rude to them, or the fact that they were rude to you? That made you
it goes
motivated?
both ways. It goes both
Combination.
ways.
Right. Okay. Always try to be a respectful player.
Yeah, I'm not
trying
I'm not
to be a
going
good
to pat
cookie,
my,
but
yeah, I'm not gonna act like I'm a top shelf cookie. No, not at all. I'm probably the one in the back that's rotting up.
oh dear. I'm glad I didn't play MM with you back then. 4 versus 5 though is Dream. Again, when it comes to the numbers, they've been hurt. Eternal Fire, been able to leverage their position. But Inferno is one of those maps where it's just mid control, banana control. Try and play around these rotations, catch the CTs off guard. But look what Nita talking about catching someone off guard. That's him to catch up Calix. Zantares won't be able to capitalize on positioning as it seems like Nita has moved away from position. Equalizing the numbers as Dream have polarized their players' positioning across the map.
Only 2 players to deal with, regardless of what side they decide to hit. Tucking into the cubby, there should be at least 1 player in the form of Dream. On the other side, Niter needs to peep around the smoke. Maybe they can get a nice crossfire going, but that's information being relayed. Niter, he pulls out in the nick of time, and there it is. They have been able to get another kill, and IMORR will be left all to his lonesome. A 1v3, numbers start to be punched in, and that's an AK-47 in his hands. But it's a massive player from Eternal Fire. He's got a lot of firepower, and he can get it done, taking a few straight bullets. Nearly isolates one, but he catches one through the smoke. Doesn't need to have his eyes open, but he eventually gets rushed down by ZeBron and his USB. Dream getting their first round on the board relatively early compared to Vertigo.
Very nicely done there by Dream. It comes down to the frags as Eternal Fire looked to trickle in. I would have thought that a push from Banana to come in quicker than it actually did would have been off convenience, but they were just waiting to be certain of that information. But yeah, this is where things started to fall in place for Dream. You know, Naito pushing up towards apartments, running away with life and extra kill. Alex getting one without being traded, and the smokes being set does put a gap between the two sides. And just like that, it was them to clear things up. Very nicely done by Dream, putting themselves on the board. Could be a confidence builder.
Igniter 2K. Oh, did he give an audio cue over there? It's a complete chaotic round as 4 kills go.
Touching heads.
That's uncomfortable. Oh, once again, bumping heads.
WOXİC is just too experienced with the bump of heads. And was able to figure out what was happening quicker than his opponent. Now, ZeBron. All that is left will Dream.
Attention to detail. Love it.
Smoke out, giving him space. ZeBron actually aggresses. WOXİC spots out the barrel of his opponent's weapon. And that is going to be another round going to the Turkish side.
A game like this really illustrates how there's even a massive difference between pro players, you know? It really cements the difference between tiers. And while Dream, I'm sure that most of us, like, if Pavlos, you and I, most of the viewers, we would just get slapped around by Dream. But in the face of Eternal Fire, they were having a terrible time.
Yeah, they're not having the best of times. I love that I just try to make things sound more passive and not as harsh, but the reality is it's quite a harsh one. IMORR aggresses.
Yeah,
but not Tok. Yeah, he tries to hide away, he tries to be sneaky, but when you play against players like these, corners will not go unchecked, right? Calyx will be the gatekeeper towards mid. He has to deal with a second angle soon enough, but even if he does, even if he falls victim to Naito, the game is over. The round is over. The B side has been taken over. Naito, he's going to go for a knife.
Not again.
It would be the second of its kind.
Was it was Calyx the last time as well, right?
Oh. He doesn't go for the knife in the end.
Yeah, because it gets a bit dicey there. It makes sense, you know, trying to get a shot in. Well, he's turned 90 degrees is probably a bit difficult, but you gotta give him a pat on the back for trying.
Definitely have to give him a pat on the back. Bag? Pat on the bag.
I guess it kind of works if somebody's wearing a backpack. You still pat their back and push the backpack, pat on the back.
Yeah. Most figures of Counter-Strike wear backpacks, right? Of some sort. No, this one doesn't.
I mean, there was a little bag. It's more of like a...
See, the CTs do. It's more of like the Kevlar suit, right?
More of a tote bag for the terrorist side.
Slap them on their tote bag. Tote bag is flying. Everything inside gets dropped to the floor. Santaris, early free kill towards apartments. Can't be retaliated. It seems like Eternal Fire are going for the same thing over and over again.
What was that movie where something keeps happening over and over again? It was like triangle something.
I mean, there were a few of them.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to mention right now? I'm trying to think of the names. I'm really bad at names. But if you look at positioning here and not think about movies, onto the A side they go. Eternal Fire, got plenty of players heading in this direction, but it's a fake. It's a simple fake.
It's a good enough fake that Talk has been convinced into rotating over, and because he's far enough that he won't quickly be able to deploy utility, that means that Alex is going to be quickly taken care of, and that will allow Eternal Fire to comfortably move on to the bomb site. Now, you can see that Talk, he's too far away to help, can't get there in the nick of time. Even with the smoke spam, he won't really get anything done. And the call has been made. Dream immediately back off. Right out of the water, they dip their toes. Ooh, cold, breezy. -1 Celsius. No, thank you. I'm not going skinny dipping right now.
What's the coldest water you've ever been in?
Probably nothing cold at all because I live in a super hot climate.
Have you ever had an ice bath?
No, never.
All right. I love that there's some BM at play as well. You don't have to respect your opponents when you're beating them this bad, do you? I mean, yeah, no, respect goes a long way. But no, they're just having fun with a ragdoll, you know? It's a good picture, taking a few screenshots, saying, hey, you can have an AWP as well. Have a look at that. And a pistol. There you go.
It almost seems like they're throwing it at the camera as well.
As if they know.
It would be kind of interesting if you were a player and you could see, if you could see the current camera angle in the form of like an in-game drone, and you would quickly become self-conscious or like, oh crap, the camera's on me.
Imagine if you could see the drone as the observing camera. Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be practical, but imagine. That'd be cool. I actually had that, you know. I think this is a buy round, so I'll get back to that point later on. I want to see if Dream are able to scramble away with a victory. Might as well give them benefit of a doubt here. Early nade damage onto Mishenchka. Retailed back. Mishenchka actually aggressing and dies to flames. I think Dream have had enough. They're just making mistakes at this point, and Eternal Fire seem to be having a lovely time. Top actually ends up getting one, but ISSA is able to bounce back by getting the trade. But it looks like they've turned their attention towards the A side. It's a good decision as well, because only one player lies defending.
Zebron's going to have a lot of responsibility to shoulder through. Quickly tucks himself in, because now we realize that there's a lot of audio cues coming his way, but he's going to be checked. They check the far angle, though. They immediately look at the top of the box, and eventually he does get taken care of. Bomb. Time to get planted. Eternal Fire. Now, all they have to do is hold down the wire as Dream try to desperately get in. A few taps through the smokes, and Terrors, he's put on his night vision goggles.
It's just too easy. That easy. Oh, it seems like Eternal Fire have got the Book of Dream right in front of them. They're turning it page by page and know exactly what to do.
If you're in the shoes of Dream, what are you even looking at doing here? Honestly, I would probably go for something a bit unorthodox, because you can't really... Okay, that's a new one.
That is a new one. I've never seen that before.
That's a recording straight from IMORR screen.
Alex? Put Stream in the driver's seat, at least for this round. The only man with a good rifle could come to an end, though, quickly. Niter looked to go for something fancy. Alex ends up falling to an AK as well. ISSA's just having fun. It's just an average Monday afternoon. Monday evening, more rather, at this point. Mishenchka battling for a rifle. Eternal Fire still hold the cards. Dream. Oh. I love to see like moments, instances where it feels like Dream may have caught them off guard, maybe to get a kill, but they just fall short mechanically as well. It's just a complete difference in caliber of play.
It's just not the same. Constantly picking up kill after kill. If you're... I like how they're still trying to maximize their chances. Hold that thought. I think I lagged out for a bit. Yeah, okay, that's better. I like how they're trying to maximize their chances, but with double digits being right around the corner for Eternal Fire, you can't really expect too much out of them. And I feel like even now, the initial prediction I made about Dream not being able to get even 5 rounds or 10 rounds across 2 maps, I think it still holds true.
Holds true. Why wouldn't it hold true? Seems like Dream hasn't proven us otherwise.
There it is, once again. Oh, I really like this detail about how Xantares actually has 9 kills. He's second on his team, and he has 0 utility damage. That means he's just playing deathmatch. He is quite literally treating it like the rules of deathmatch. run around.
Yeah, he's just going in, wants kills with his rifle. Why not? It just feels when we played matchmaking a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, I think at this point. And I started top fragging, and I said, if I top frag and you're not above me in the scoreline, then you're not going to hear the end of it. At that moment in time, you were like, okay, you grabbed your AK, and you completely just walked by, and you were just having fun on the server as if it was deathmatch. And I feel that's what Xantares is doing right now.
But the difference between Xantares and I is that I did it against Gold Novas.
Yeah, MG players as well, I think.
Talk. I think he's about to be on the receiving end of the big green goblin. Slowly but surely, inching his way in. No sniper on the other side as well. A bit of a stalemate. WOXİC right out. That high sensitivity allows him to switch over to that second player as well. A third player telegraphs his position. imoRR, I think he might be giving up a bit too much information with the fact that he's spraying through. Nade doesn't quite hit the intended target. And now they're going to move right in. He gets caught while he's trying to sneak himself into dark. WOXİC is just too quick on the trigger. And because Dream have consistently just been staying on the A site, you know exactly where the hunt is going to come from. They know they're not going to bother as soon as they get the bomb down. Their next step is to head into pit.
You know, if they keep on doing that, I'm just wondering, will there ever be a ninja defuse? You know, because if they just back out of the B site and let it open as they chase for kills, I know that Eternal Fire are likely not to do that because I'm sure they want to just get over it with this game. Because as much as viewers don't enjoy it, as much as we don't enjoy when the games are one-sided, I think it's the same for players, right? I think they find it exciting when games are close and it gets your blood flowing, it gets your adrenaline pumped up. But right now, it's just a walk in the park for them, and I'm sure they're not really immune. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just want to clean this up.
It really is a matter of running around willy-nilly for Eternal Fire, cleaning it up as you mentioned.
But WOXİC is just clean, you know, with the AWP going for those dry peaks. Doesn't even need reinforcements of his teammates. It was just a one-man army in that endeavor.
It looked way cooler in slow-mo, especially with the fire crackling at his feet.
Everything looks cooler in slow-mo. I learned that when I was a kid, and I accidentally stumbled upon Baywatch. Accidentally, quote-unquote.
Yes, accidentally.
IMORR, that's going to be a freebie for Zibron.
I think walking right next to the corner probably gave up too much of a position. Allowed Zibron to sort of get ready for the kill as well. But Eternal Fire, I think they're taking a bit of damage now. 3v3. ISSA and Xantares, they're so low that if imoRR pushes in at the right time, they're going to get completely mowed down. Calyx, though, turns around in time, gets one for his troubles, but at the end of the day, that is still two rounds on the board for Dream. And not double digits, just two.
That's where the mistakes come in. Eternal Fire underestimating their opponents. The backstab came in. They weren't quite wary of that position. And yeah, there you have it. It's Dream at least getting themselves a second now. Altogether, on Vertigo, they managed to retrieve four rounds. Now, they've got half that amount. Do you think they'll get a greater scoreline or a lower scoreline than that? Or do you think they'll match it? I love that you just put your thinking cap on. I wonder.
Honestly, I feel like Inferno's probably going to be a worse affair for them.
Could be. Could be. But with this kill, Alex does show his dominance so far. It doesn't seem like they've been able to capitalize too much on these early advantages. But if they're able to do so now, be a good surprise.
Still being on the CT side does allow them to have some advantages, though, so... You know, quickly light a candle for them. Hope that they can get something out of it.
It's a reoccurring theme. Throwing some down early smokes, trying to challenging positions. It's never really just the commit. It's Never really just one general tactic. It's Eternal Fire just scouting for kills. Now, this time around, this scout work hasn't really worked out in their favor, but WOXİC suddenly, with that one kill against Tok, may have cleared the site. imoRR, not the best weapon on this long distance. Not quite sure if he knows exactly where WOXİC is lurking. Do they check it? Xantara's expecting it. WOXİC does get the finishing blow. 2 against 2. It seems like Eternal Fire have changed the tide once more.
I want to see how they play this 2-on-2. So Zebron and Alex both moving in from Coffin and CT, playing it slow. But walking into WOXIC's crosshairs is going to be way too difficult to get past. It's almost certainly going to be a kill. But okay, Alex, he swings out like that, and maybe we've got the ball rolling. Xantari's now in a 1 versus 2. He's tucked into the cubby, and he's allowed the smoke to be deployed. That makes things significantly harder. Moving right in, Zebron can make good use of that flashbang and is able to protect his teammate long enough for him to get the defuse. Dream on 3.
And the bomb wasn't even planted in a position where Xantaris could have gotten a spray down across towards Coffin. So that was pretty much gifted to Dream on a silver platter. But it all came down to Alex being scared off by a chicken and then follows up with a kill instead. Yeah, Dream at this point are after high scores, you know? Their high score is set at 4. Just want to extend that. And I think they're on a good track to perhaps do that.
Yeah, but with this push coming in from Eternal Fire and Zebron not immediately capitalizing, it's a bit worrying. They're trying to find the AWP through the smoke, but they eventually will. Still, 2 players remaining on the other side of the map, or on the other side of the bomb site. Eternal Fire are quickly looking to reroute.
They do collect the bomb. But instead of completely rerouting, they double back on their initial position. Now with bomb at hand, where the B site and A site having 2 CTs per place, could be a good option for them to rotate now as Eternal Fire have opted to aggress actually. Xantaris, does he expect this push? Alex slowly but surely. Xantaris is just so quick on the swing. Alex can't do anything about it, and now the A site's completely open. Niter is locked out of it. The spray down is fruitful for ISSA. Niter has just fallen 2 against 4. Eternal Fire making their way into the site. Getting that bomb down is their next point of action. Xantaris aggresses up across the smoke as well. Catches imoRR off guard, and it's all down to Tok, and he can only look back in anger.
If you recall, it actually ended very similarly on Vertigo, where I believe the scoreline was 12-3. And with Eternal Fire playing the way they are, the money being a bit lacking on Dream, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case once more. So whether or not they set a new high score, it really does come down to the piss around.
Sometimes, I've said don't look back in anger a couple of times today. And I was kind of hoping you got the reference from time to time. Do you know the song from Oasis?
I actually don't.
So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. No?
No. Oh. Doesn't really
Don't
ring
look
any bells
back
for
in
some reason.
anger.
I feel like this is one of those songs that is kind of familiar in my head, but I don't know that I know it.
Okay, I love that song. I really do.
All the way
It's a mood
fixer. That's something in common.
But now, oh, look at Tok. What can you do here, sir? Could end up with a couple. Change position for IMORR. I love the spray down from him. The awareness that Tok could be in that position, but not quite the finishing blow there, for the trades are equal across the board. 3 against 3, Calyx aggressing. Niter's shots go wide at the start, but able to scramble up the pieces in the end. Eternal Fire seem to be on a back foot in this round. But I have no doubt in my mind that they'll do their best to convert it back into a victory. Or at least try.
See if this 2v3 works out. WOXİC has consistently been able to get entry frags with the AWP, and that's what makes him such a powerful force on the roster. Making it next to impossible for these players to get anything done out of this.
Ooh,
the Desert Eagle eventually connecting. Niter He's got a big task on his hands. He's got to take 2 players and he has to defuse the bomb. Now, whether or not he can isolate them, let's find out. Fountain not being expecting it. It is going to be a 12-3 scoreline, and that is going to be the halftime finish. Very convincing so far from Eternal Fire. A replication of map number 1, but we're going to catch you after halftime, so we'll catch you after the break. Yes, we will catch you after the break.
Zobacz tą mapę.
Second off.
Tego coś nie da trafić tam gościu.
Celuj przed niego.
Celuję taki, chuj, wcześniej go nie trafiłem w ogóle.
Dawaj, dawaj, dobra.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second half of potentially the last map of this series. I mean, I wouldn't be saying last map. I wouldn't be so immature in making assumptions, but we are in a 12-3 scenario, and Dream aren't seeming like they're bouncing too much firepower right back at Eternal Fire, do they?
Not at all, and with that being the case, it's about time we dig right into it, don't we? Now, for anybody that is tuning in late, Eternal Fire versus Dream, it's mostly been a landslide. Dream, they only got 4 rounds on the board on Vertigo. That was map number 1. Now, at this point, I don't really think they're in a position to beat out Eternal Fire on their own map pick. I think they're just playing for bonus points. I think they're playing to beat their high score of 4. Let's see if they can get the pistol on Zentaris. Looking very crispy with that USB aim already early on. That is one member of the Dream roster being taken away.
Yeah, so instantly Dream lose confidence upon taking the B site, and they rotate towards the A site together with the bomb. Michechka, the first man to lead the charge, moving out of apartments. Zentaris holding his ground, so there's imoRR on both sides of the map. Seems like Eternal Fire set up a blockade, and Dream are battling with the bare hands to just break through it. But Eternal Fire, they've got fire in their veins, and they will continue to dismantle Dream round by round.
Dreams, nightmares. Nightmares are often about hell, Eternal Fire. I feel like we can sort of see a correlation here, but that was crispy. Love to see that.
It was very crispy. Very, very
By the
crispy.
way, I'm very interested in how much Michechka's sensitivity is, because he's very good at clearing angles when he comes out.
Yeah, something that we'd love to look into, really. WOXİC, ooh, leg shot, actually. It seems that Niter's got talent when it comes to B-hopping, but can't transfer that into a kill. The numbers have been equalized. It's messy across the board, right? This doesn't feel like a high caliber play. Stream are looking to find advantages wherever they can. Traversing towards the B site. Sheshka to lead the charge once more. Deagle at hand. Only one man required to clear. Santaris, the man you'd want to be in such a position. Forehand, maybe able to find the first one. That's going to be a bullet through the back of his skull. And now we'll go for another swing. Does end up fruitful. Zibron all by himself and now has to deal with multiple other angles, but it's only one man that was necessary for this whole endeavor. The flash from Calix was helpful, but it was all Zantaris on that B-site hold.
We once again, well, not we, Dream, stare down the barrel of Eternal Fire's massive shotgun. 2 rounds, two barrels, 2 shots, however you want to put it.
Are we rooting for another round for Dream? Are we rooting for them to match their high score?
Yeah, just cute little fist bumps going, or you're sort of like pumping your fist in the air.
Let's give them a chance. I'm really going to hype them up here. They deserve it. Let's see what they can do. I mean, playing against a team like Eternal Fire is no small feat. Man, coming into it without any officials, it's definitely a difficult task now. Dream making their way towards mid. What can they do? IMORR there to hold them out. There is a crossfire set up as well, but there's utility that can be used to block them out. But instead, it's going to be a complete mow down, complete and utter shutdown of the push. The bomb has been compromised. It is Alex to put a bullet directly between the eyes of WOXİC. ISSA looks to follow things up, but that is it. Eternal Fire find themselves on the all-elusive 15.
It's just a bit much now. Their high score being left behind it. I feel like you pointed it out in the pregame or within the game in the first half, Pavlos, is the fact that since Inferno is Eternal Fire's map pick, it makes it even harder for Dream to get a few rounds, and maybe they could have gotten a scrap in on Vertigo. And by the way, that's something I really liked about Sampy's approach to approaching Entropic. Instead of trying to play something like Vertigo, they straight up went for the Ancient pick. They're like, you know what? Okay. We probably don't know how to play this map too well either, but at least we've got a chance. And I feel like that kind of approach would probably have worked out for Dream as well. Although I do think Eternal Fire might have banned it.
Yeah, perhaps. But I think something very interesting would be in tomorrow's matches is the Dream versus Sampy matchup. I think that would be a more close score. And Eternal Fire versus Entropic as well. An interesting one. Interesting affair. These 2 Titans have clashed before. I'd love to see them clash again. Good Counter-Strike, and you can guarantee it when those 2 teams are involved. Dream versus Sampy will be an interesting affair as well. I'm looking forward to that when it comes to the future games. But right now, there's a clear goal in mind for Eternal Fire, shutting things down right here, right now. And Dream, their goal is to find that high score, take it ever greater, challenge as much as humanly possible. 2 teams. 2 very different goals, but 1 round that separates these 2 goals indeed. IMORR, good shot onto Tok, nothing given over. And with that, with the trade being handed over to WOXİC, Alex walks directly in front of his crosshair. Into the B side they go, 2v2 endeavor. Calix, it's a simple hold from him. Zantaris does peek out, but it's all down to 1 in that location. Spray down, Zibron actually ends up winning out on the first kill, but can't quite find the follow-up. Calix, with the flap of Zantaris, does end up finishing off the rest. Niter does give it a good go, but that is it, ladies and gentlemen. 16-3. It is Eternal Fire to close out MUP 2, and thus the series.
16-4, 16-3.